Hey guys, so I I don't know how I feel about this. This is a tough one for me. This is why it's immediately recorded as a mini crisis. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mini Crisis. It's been a while since I recorded one of these, and here we are, recording an episode. And this comes right, as news just broke of, you know, I'm sure you read the title of this video, and here it is. Variety broke the news, and a couple of other people have picked it up. Robert Pattinson to play the Batman from Matt Reeves' solo film. Look, I'm gonna be frank here. I'm a big DC fan, huge fan. I own more DC clothes than Marvel T-shirts. I have way more DC like memorabilia. I have way more DC comics. I have, Batman is my second favorite. Superman is my first. And if you've watched episodes prior, you've noticed that like right up here, I've got there is a poster of the Justice League movie, which I enjoy. I know it's hated. I am in the minority when it comes down to that. I know that we have come into a world of picking sides, and being a Marvel fan is the go-to, and DC sucks and Marvel is better, and that's perfectly fine. Honestly, the Marvel movies are better. They are better movies. You've got Endgame just destroying all sorts of records and getting rave reviews, and just like my compatriot Pedro says, more money doesn't equal a better movie. But in this case, yeah, I think we're at like $2.5 billion or something of that nature. I haven't even looked since the last time we pulled up the numbers. Let's go to Box Office Mojo here real quick and take a look at that. And let's see here. So Box Office Mojo says that Endgame, let's take a look at worldwide to date. So domestic, it's made $737 million, and worldwide total is $2.5 billion. So yeah, it was pretty much on the ball there, 2.5 million. It's really dropped in the astronomical amount of money it made the first weekend, and it's like tapered. I think I predicted that it was hit 3 billion pretty soon. It's at 2.5 and steadily going up. But yeah, that said, Marvel movies are fun for me. I'm a big geek. I love everything. I love all properties, all comics, all characters. But DC to me is near and dear. And this is sort of an episode long time coming. I'm not even going to go deeper into it when it comes down to my defense of the DC movies, because it's just not worth it, or not worth it for this episode for sure. But I can totally go into it one day. I've got lots of fans and stuff that have been requesting me to do that. But anyway, here we are, another Batman, and some people would argue and say, is this needed? And the answer is no, it's not. But Batman sells money, just like Spider-Man sells tickets and sells movie tickets, and it's money. Why shelf a character that can bring in so much money? People would say that the best Batman movies are the Dark Knight series. I'm indifferent to those. I enjoy them for what they are. They're not my favorite Batman, because I think fundamentally they did Batman wrong. It's not that he's not a fun character, but no, I'm right. He's not a fun character to watch. He's kind of a spoiled brat in that one. He goes and trains with ninjas, comes back, and just throws money at everything, doesn't really use his brain, doesn't really do much detective work, just kind of pays for all his toys through Lucius and his company, puts on a suit, goes, uses his ninja skills, and that's the end of that. And some people would say that that's what they want out of Batman. That's not what I want in Batman. I will say, and controversial again, my favorite Batman to date has been Ben Affleck. I think the glimpses that we got and some of the fundamental things that we got from that character in Batman vs. Superman and Justice League and the few movies that he was in really show that they knew what they wanted to do with this version of Batman. They wanted a more detective role. They wanted a more jaded Batman. They wanted one that had history. At least that's what we got from the Man of Steel DCEU universe. We got a character that was definitely a little more broken. I think I wouldn't have gone that dark. They really pushed the Frank Miller version of Batman for that, and I think that was the wrong choice. But anyway, I think his suit looked great. I think his detective work was awesome in that movie. I think he did more detecting in that movie than he did in any of the ones. He invented his own things. She worked out. I mean, there was just little clips and things that he did in that movie that they totally missed out of the Dark Knight series. Now, again, that's not to say that the Dark Knight series isn't a good franchise. I think the Joker we got in the Dark Knight is phenomenal. I think, and many people that know me know that the third movie really ruined that trilogy for me. The timeline's all off. There's rants and raves that I can go on about, and I'm not going to. I really am not. I'm holding back, I promise you. The news that Robert Pattinson is playing Batman troubles me. I hope Matt Reeves knows what he's doing. Robert Pattinson's got too much baggage. He is a character that has been attached to multiple big franchises already. He's known as Cedric Diggory for Harry Potter. He is the freaking sparkle vampire from Twilight, Edward. And because of that, he's got a connotation that he's no longer the teen heartthrob anymore. He's 33 years old. He's definitely older. He's been in a few movies since then. Nothing outstanding. According to this story on this story here, it says he's going for sex symbol to Batman, or bat symbol. Sources tell Variety that Robert Pattinson is in negotiations to play the Batman in Matt Reeves' forthcoming superhero film, which hits theaters June 25th, 2021. While sources say it's not a yet done deal, and again, this has been edited since I decided to make this video, it had mentioned it was a done deal. According to IO9, it was done, and then they came back and updated it. See, they updated at 9:20, saying this post has been updated minutes after publication, that the deal had not yet been done. So the rage has subsided, but you know what? I'm gonna be a little optimistic here. People back in the day when 1989 Batman, when they announced that Michael Keaton was going to play Bruce Wayne or Batman in general, people were like, Mr. Mom? Beetlejuice is going to play Batman? That makes no sense. And then we got a character that was absolutely loved. I think Michael Keaton as Batman is pretty good. I mean, he's not my favorite Bruce Wayne, but he definitely played an amazing Batman for the time. Again, just like Jack Nicholson as the Joker, that's an iconic Joker. I don't think we could have gotten a better Joker in that time with the publication of the comic where it was. I think since then the comic has gotten darker. There's been grittier moments, grittier stories, and Heath Ledger's Joker caught that version of the character well. There's problematic issues with that, but that fits that whole universe. So either way, this, from my understanding, is the purpose of this The Batman movie is it's supposed to be, and I'm going to go back to the IO9 story because they really break it down better. They're really saying that this movie is supposed to be a very dark, like a noir style, like a detective following his role. I want that. that's the Batman that I've been wanting for years. I've been wanting a detective, a noir story, a very like maybe a Batman Year One with tech that he kind of makes out of his own like rundown cave that isn't even a tech-filled Bat cave. It's using like almost steampunky in a way, like very rudimental technology, all stuff that he invented himself. He didn't have Lucius yet. He didn't want to trust anybody. He was still kind of young, and he got hurt a lot. And we got a little bit of that in Batman Begins, but not enough. He still got like the climbing suit. He went immediately and got the tumbler. If you go look at and read any of Batman Year One, which again is Frank Miller, but it's a different Frank Miller story. It's nice. It's, you know, Batman's younger. He makes mistakes. He gets beat up more. He's going after Falcone. It's a noir detective story. There's a lot more detecting, him really cutting his teeth into the city of Gotham, and Gotham is darker. There's no hero, there's no presence, there's no vigilante. So I think that would be an amazing story to tell that we haven't gotten on film yet. None of the Batman movies have given us that, really. Even 1989 one wasn't that way. He was still too high tech. He had the big Batman. Batman just showed up with all this tech, and I think to show Batman up and coming with like less tech, less gear, less just kind of a dude in like a bodysuit of some sort and like a cowl that's, you know, very rudimental. Maybe not even the cowl, like, you know, the gloves, or, you know, the just the bandana at first, and then he goes to. I mean, there's just many things that you can do. That's the movie I want. That's the movie I think we're going to get. But I don't know if Pattinson has the chops for that. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm trying to stay bright-sided with this. But at the same time, oh boy, it's a tough sell. It's going to be a tough sell in this day and age. If this was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, before Marvel had come out, and they had picked Robert Pattinson. I mean, obviously he would be 15 years old at the time. But I guess my point is, if they had picked a character from another franchise pre-Marvel movies, people would be, okay, let's see what we got. There'd be a little backlash here and there, but it wouldn't be as bad. I think what we're getting now is this is a post-Marvel, post-Endgame world. And everyone is just expecting DC to catch up or meet or beat Marvel. And I don't think we're going to get that for the first time. I mean, Marvel just doesn't have some of the things that DC has. The characters are older in the DC universe. They're gods. I hear that a lot. They're almost godlike, and Marvel characters are more grounded, which I guess if you want to just go with a very broad brush, that's what you're going to get from Marvel and DC. But honestly, the character of Superman, when I hear people say, I don't like Superman because, and they say he's too cheesy of a character, he's easy to write for, and that's the reason I like Batman, because he's like the everyman. But honestly, if you go read any Batman book, especially the 90s versions of Batman, Batman is untouchable. Batman is a god. He can do whatever he wants because he's Batman. And Batman's popularity kind of drove him to be able to do anything he wants. There's not a thing, I mean, you go into any comic forum or comic conversation, and Batman can beat anybody with enough prep time. That's the joke. You know, Batman versus Galactus, he can do it if he had enough prep time. With enough prep time, Batman can do anything. And it's honestly stupid. Bat God is kind of the consensus that Batman can do anything he wants, and so he's all powerful. Even though he's human, he's technically the most powerful being in the DC universe if you write him that way. He's got a contingency plan for everybody. He can beat anybody. And in his utility belt, he simultaneously has the most powerful element against Superman, and at the same time, like, the smallest bit, I don't know, he's got everything in his utility belt because that's the way you want to write it. Deus Ex Machina. Right on his belt. And so he's a character that's written as a god, but in the form of a human. And so people relate to that. But honestly, when you compare Batman to any Marvel character, if you were to have put, I mean, this is being silly, but put a character like Batman, written with like Batman, against a character like Thanos, it would have been no-brainer. Batman would have just beat him because the public demands it. because the stories have always been written to where Batman can pull it out in the end. The Marvel movies succeeded because they made these characters flawed in many ways. The character of Robert Downey Jr., the character of Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. Was written very well with his flaws, with his like post-traumatic stress after the Avengers movie. The character growing, and then the ending that we got with that character was a fantastic story of redemption, and a fantastic redemption story for the actor as well. But at the same time, if you really think about it, it kind of is the same story we want from Batman. We want that character to be the cocky Bruce Wayne character, and then also be like the hero and the... I mean, honestly, if you just change the roles and put Batman in that role, people would love it. But that's not what we're getting from DC. DC went a different route, and frankly, the fans don't like it. They don't want that. They want Marvel, but as soon as DC does anything like Marvel, they get copied. They say that they copied Marvel. It's look, on and on and on, ramble. But my point being here is, Robert Pattinson could be the next Batman, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't want to hate it. I don't want to like it. I know people didn't like Ben Affleck. I liked his build. I liked his chin. I liked his potential. I don't think we ever got it. I don't think we were ever given the right script, the right movie. I was really excited that he was attached to the Batman for the longest time, and now he dropped out. It makes me really sad. It was kind of a heartbreaking moment for me, because I feel like we will never get to see that character, or honestly, we'll never get to see Ben Affleck again in the Batsuit, and we'll never get to see the movie that could have been the second pairing of Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck as Superman and Batman together, fighting a hero or fighting a villain as heroes, as friends, as the true world's finest. Makes me sad. It makes me sad because those characters, when I look at them on like this poster that I've got up here, and a lot of the memorabilia, they look so amazing. Ben Affleck as Batman in the suit, in the like rubber-ish armor without the like army body armor that is the Dark Knight series, and the cowl that looks straight out of the comic book, straight out of Jim Lee's art book. That kind of stuff just makes me sad that we're not going to see anymore. I don't know what direction we're going to go with. With the Joker movie coming out this fall, which is not supposed to be part of the DC universe, I don't know where we're going anymore with DC universe. Wonder Woman is coming out soon. Shazam came out and made good money. Aquaman made good money. But now that we've lost Batman, and Batman is being replaced by someone like Robert Pattinson, is Robert Pattinson going to show up on screen with Henry Cavill? Are we just going to shelve that entire all those other movies are no longer going to be connected? Are we going to lose Henry Cavill as Superman? I mean, that was a rumor that might have happened, and then he came out and posted a video on Instagram saying that no, that's not the case, that he's still around and he's still going to be playing him. So again, I think they've got him under contract. I don't think they want to lose him. I think Ben Affleck was just kind of a tough character to work with. He had some rehab issues again, and he fell off the wagon, and he was drinking, and so I think for his health, he dropped out. I don't think he could keep the body and the regiment, and that's sad for such an iconic character. I think he looked great. So Robert Pattinson, I don't know, man. Like I never got to see David Cronenberg's what is it, Cosmopolis, and then I never got to see that. That was a movie that he was in after. It's one of the few movies he did after the Twilight Saga. But man, his acting in the Twilight Saga, I don't know if it was the directing or what, but it's like stale, cardboard, just not what I want from Batman. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's many characters, many actors that we've seen do terrible roles. I mean, look, a good example is I'll always remember this particular character, or this particular actor. Will Ferrell is just, he can ham it up, and when you don't have good direction with him, he does awful. I mean, look at that movie that he did, the Sherlock Holmes movie thing. I think it's got one of the lowest ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, which I hate Rotten Tomatoes, by the way. I'm not saying that means it's a bad movie. I'm just saying it is a terrible movie. That the movie is so bad that I can't believe it even came out. I mean, it was in and out of the theaters. It was just terrible. I don't know who greenlit that thing, but it was basically him unhinged, and I think he thought that being unhinged, just like he is with Anchorman and whatnot, he could pull off a Sherlock Holmes movie, but it was terrible. Bad investment. Whoever made that movie was just, hopefully they lost tons of money on that. With that, but you put him in a role that's out of his element, like Stranger Than Fiction, I think is the name of the movie. That movie, like, I will always think about that movie when an actor is typecast in one way and then you put him in another. Look at Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey in what is it? Oh my God! See, I'm doing this, and this is what I do when I do. What's the Eternal Sunshine? I mean, that movie was phenomenal, but it's rubber mask Jim Carrey can play an amazing role. Same with him in Truman Show. I mean, he's still being zany, but being very serious. I mean, he's really done it. Robin Williams, Mr. Good Morning Vietnam and Genie of Aladdin, all of a sudden did all sorts of drama movies. Like he could pull it off. What's Into Dream? What's it? The Dreams movie, the one with cancer and the Field of whatever. Anywho, I can't think straight. It's almost 10 o'clock here, and I've been up since 6, and I can't think of my movies right now. But I'm just saying that characters can play other roles if they're directed properly, and if you see something in him, if a good casting director sees something, then I think it's possible. It's possible for him to play a good Batman. I'm not sold yet. And again, back to my argument that in a world with the Marvel movies doing as good as they have, and the fandom being as backlashy as they are, with bad press means bad turnout, which means people aren't going to go see this movie if there's bad press. So, yeah, here we are. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're seeing with this. I'm worried, but maybe I'll be surprised. Again, I'll read the synopsis of what the Batman movie is supposed to be. I mean, I finally found it here. It's very much a point of view driven noir Batman tale. It's told very squarely on his shoulders, and I hope it's going to be a story that will be thrilling but also emotional. It's more Batman in his detective mode than we've seen in the films. The comics have a history of that. He's supposed to be the world's greatest detective. That's something that I've always been preaching for many movies, and we never get that. And that's not necessarily been a part of what the movies have been. I'd love this to be one where we go on a journey of tracking down the criminals and trying to solve a crime. It's going to allow this character to have an arc so that he can go through a transformation. So again, this sounds like my dream journal Batman movie. I just don't know if I would have casted freaking Sparkle Vampire over here. So, guys, comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Let's have a conversation about your Batman movies. I know people love the Dark Knight series, and I know people don't like Batman vs. Superman or Justice League or any of the DCU movies, and I know people don't really like Ben Affleck as Batman. I am always going to be on the other side of that argument, and there's no convincing me. I think he looks phenomenal. I think he had the ability to do it. But yeah, Robert Pattinson. Prove me wrong, Warner Brothers. Prove me wrong. Learn from your mistakes, please, and give us a good Batman movie. I'm afraid about this casting, but someone saw something. All right, guys. Take care.